How to convert traffic into revenue in 2026. How to convert is the question. Traffic into revenue is the problem to solution framework. This is a topic that is highly discussed, highly sought after, very considerate, I can say, and also very competitive. So how to convert traffic into revenue in 2026 is a question a lot of people get to ask, and we're going to discuss that today. Welcome, Deolanda. Thanks for being here. And I'm excited that we're going to have this conversation and really go deeper into the layers of understanding how this thing actually works. Welcome, Jake. Thanks for being here too. It was good connecting with you on the podcast as well. Thank you for being here. Looking forward to having an exciting episode release very soon too on the We Don't Play podcast show. Converting traffic into revenue in 2026 is going to be a very huge question that a lot of people need answers on. And majorly, if you want to see that traffic take place and also take form and also perform over time, then the how to convert traffic is very important. How to convert traffic. Now, for us to even convert traffic, we need to create traffic, right? How is traffic created? Welcome, Coach Z. Traffic is created by something happening, right? When you're driving and there's traffic, there could be a porthole, there could be something on the road, there could be a minor accident, it could be something that could have happened that requires time, it could be the weather, it could be anything, right? So something has to have happened, something should have been created for traffic to take place. Think about it, if there's no road, there's no traffic, right? So you need to create the road for the traffic to be, let's even say, existing or even possible. So if we're using this concept to convert traffic, then we're taking traffic, which is, I can say, unstructured, to revenue, which is structured. Because you can say, oh, we had 10 people that came in today, and we had 2 people that signed up, and we had 1 person that purchased our product, or somebody who invested with us, or somebody who made a donation. It could be whatever you're creating, whether it's for-profit or non-profit. Now, if you're converting traffic into revenue in 2026, we need to think about how to create traffic. I think I'll do another room on how to actually create traffic, because a lot of people get traffic, but is their traffic even quality? It's like we can both create sand. We can both create a sandcastle, and we can both use the same sand, but the way we're going to use our hands are going to change the way the sandcastle looks. So why I'm giving you that example or that analogy is when you're converting traffic, you're considering traffic by being consistent in value and giving something that people can actually enjoy. Because if there's traffic, it's because something is happening. On the good side of things, if there's traffic and if people are lining up to download the best software, or people are lining up actually in person because there's a new iPhone that's dropping and people are on the queue waiting for it to drop, or somebody's waiting for a song to drop at midnight, or waiting for an album to drop at midnight from your favorite artist, that's traffic. So whether it's online, digital, in person, brick and mortar, it's going to be something that's going to take time to build. So if you're going to think about creating traffic, then the traffic has to be created by substance. And the substance has to come from a place. So if you have a website, if you need a website, if you're creating a website, reach out to me, connect with me, let's create your website. click on the link above or hit the link in the description, and you can book a call with me and let's talk and let's have a SEO discovery call so that we can get to know exactly what you need for your business, because everybody's unique and your business is different from somebody else's. So your solutions are going to be unique to you and your problems are also going to be unique to you. So if we are thinking about converting traffic into revenue, then the goal and the plan is to convert the traffic by creating the plan. Welcome, Frederick. So how do we create the plan when we convert traffic? We're creating the plan by creating content which I can consider as seeds, mustard seeds, right? You write an article today, it goes. It's kind of like saying, I always say this with people, whenever we run articles or publish articles or do SEO treatment for articles, these articles are like seeds in the ground. They're seeds in the World Wide Web that if we write about a topic today and it goes viral tomorrow, or it goes viral by this time next year, then you're going to benefit from that every year that keeps happening, because there's a season and a time for everything. So when you look at these keywords, give yourself at least 24 months, that's 2 years, and say for the next 2 years, I'm going to use these content pillars to build traffic because I've been able to build capacity and use them as a way of actually connecting traffic to my website. Imagine me saying, okay, I have an article I talked about this and this, or I have SEO news feeds, or I have information about podcasts. That is enabling you to know, okay, I'm going to go to this podcast to learn about this. Welcome, Murphy, because I want to learn about this topic. I'm going to listen to this person's episode because I want to learn about this topic, or I want to understand this topic. If I'm going to read the blog, it's because I want to understand better and read through the blog. So all these measurements are all interconnected. They're all building into each other. And when you're building into each other, you're also creating intention, right? So intentionally, you're creating content for people to find your information, to make sure that you're also being more in tune with how people are also discussing within themselves, how they can also get in touch with you. So you're creating a scenario that is allowing someone to come to your website because they value what you're saying, and they also value what you're, let's say, publishing, either in form of text, audio, video, or image. So if we're going to convert this traffic into revenue, then it means that we have created a space where we have built an authority in our niche to the point where if somebody has a problem, you're the person that they're going to think about, and you're the person that's going to solve their problem. Welcome, Ifani. Not because you said it today, but because you mentioned it once and you kept saying it over and over again to the point where the person that heard you over and over decided to reach out to you because they heard you once upon a time. Welcome, Tanya. Thanks for being here, Mr. Wonderful. So you want to convert this traffic into revenue, but you didn't put in the work to plant the seed. You need to plant the seed first, and you need to water the seed. The seed is content. So if you plant the seed, it means you've created a link on your website. If you're watering the seed, it means you're sending it via email, you're sending it on social media, you're making backlinks from them. If possibly that could happen, that would be great, because people can backlink to you. They can create a do follow link, or you can turn it into a place where you can add it to your podcast show notes. You can put it out there on the web. You can create blogs and also create internal links back to those links that you've created for your website. So imagine you consistently put that link out there for people to see. If you want to go more extensive, go to Pinterest. Put more of those links on Pinterest. You want to be more extensive? Go to Reddit, right? You want to be more extensive? Go to LinkedIn. You want to be more extensive? Go to YouTube. The more links that are interlinked to the links that are coming from your website, the more platforms actually get to know about you, and the more audiences you're able to pull in because you have an accessible link. And especially if your link is canonical and it has the right reference and it has the primary tag, then that conversion is going to be good for you because the value and the revenue you're going to be getting will be different. You might get $1 sign. Somebody else might get 2. Welcome, Luann. Somebody else might get $3 signs. Thanks for the love. Appreciate you always. $4 signs, $5 signs. When you go to a restaurant, you're like, okay, how many dollar signs are we spending? Or what's the currency here? Are we doing 2 currency symbols? 3, 4, 1? Which one is it? Welcome, Celeste. So for you to even turn that revenue on, traffic has to be on. I don't know how you can make revenue without traffic. I mean, there are ways you can do things, but the traffic is coming from a place. Traffic doesn't mean, oh, I'm here. It means this has been consistently happening and now I consistently want to get this solved so that I can actually focus on other things. Welcome, D, Guy, and Bill G. Someone reached out to me today, welcome Anna, just to give you like a real example of this topic, because I'm not just bluffing. I'm giving you what I've gone through, what I'm sure you've gone through, which I would love to hear one day. And that way I'm able to learn more from you too. So this morning, I wake up and thank God for life, thank God for a new day. And I get a message from somebody who I sent an invoice. The last time I sent him an invoice was 2023. We're in 2026. I was looking at my records. I was like, whoa, this is a long time ago. Welcome, Rocky. And I said, yeah, definitely it would be good to, focus, help, and see how we can make this happen. So he sent me a message and he's like, hey, I think I'm ready. I'm just paraphrasing. And I said, okay, can I call you in 30 minutes? And he's like, yeah. So I called him in 30 minutes and I explained, I told him, well, this is everything. I was like, the same thing I told you 3 years ago. It's even more important now than ever because I'm looking at your tags and this and that. I was just breaking it down and he was like, oh, wow, okay. So to cut the long story short, we started work today and he paid his invoice. After 3 years, I had to, of course, update a lot of things because there are a lot of new things that have happened. And now for the next 3 months, and not even 3 months, 12 weeks, because we don't work in months, we work in weeks because there are 13 months in the year. If you divide 52 weeks by 13, you get 4. So for the next 12 weeks, we're going to be very specific on our marketing and targeting, and also including Pinterest because he serves a lot of zip codes and areas. And I'm like, wow, yeah, you should be everywhere. You should be everywhere. So I'm excited. And it's going to be a blessing because other people will be able to see it. So we're talking about traffic, and I'll tell you guys about what happens when it happens because it's a case study that's building. So I'm excited to see how marketing and a website and all the good things are going to be coming together. So when it comes to building traffic into revenue, on my end, I've been talking about SEO for years. I've been on Clubhouse for 6 years. It's going to be 6 years this November. So I've met a lot of people. I connect with a lot of people. Sometimes it's teamwork. It's not like I do SEO and then we have a magical tree. It's going to take time to build. And when it hits, it hits. Sometimes it takes a while. So I've seen people after 5 years, after 2 years, after 6 months. So everybody's different. I can't say, oh, you're going to get 2 years. You're going to get 10 years. You're going to get 2 seconds. It's not my place. So when I look at people growing and morphing and evolving and turning into new things, and I'm like, wow, everybody's growing. Yes, this is exciting. And because if you're able to build traffic to your website from social media back to your email, and you're able to actually use contacts to highly improve your conversions, it's going to be a great win for you. And I'll give you one stat because I'd love to hear from you, Celeste and Rocky. When you look at conversions in 2026, there's a study that's been done, and on average, I'll just give you the range because it's always changing. It's always a variable. But if you have well-designed call to actions that are going to help you either in buttons or links, hyperlinks or hypertext, that's going to help you get over that, it increases between anywhere around 38% to over 160%. It's a wide range. That's why I wanted to give you a very wide range, but it's a huge one. And imagine if you're doing that consistently, your call to action, your click-through rates, your action points, the way you use your words, they can change so much. People say, oh, buy now, click here. Okay, what's new? So if you think about it long term, you can really think about it in a long way. So we'd love to hear from you, Celeste or Rocky. What are your thoughts on traffic, revenue? What have you seen, organic, paid-wise, in 2026? Let's go. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Oh my gosh. I am so excited that it's Friday because y'all, my 3-year-old has been out of daycare all week and next week he can go back. So celebrate with me, y'all. Okay, on the subject at hand. So when I think about traffic and conversions, I always talk about this, how especially now with AI, I just feel like consumers want to do. I used to say consumers are lazy. I'm gonna change that. I think consumers want to find the easiest path to get done what they want to get done. So what I always try to stress to people is if you want higher conversions, regardless of traffic, right? You have to basically figure out where are the easy buttons in your business for your people. Like Favour was just saying, the hyperlinks, the book here, book now, or buy now, click here. All the low level things you can do to make the customer experience go smoother and make your customers do the least amount of steps as possible to get to the end is going to highly, highly increase your conversion. I've done this in my own business. Like, for example, I get flack from other people, but then when they do this, they're like, oh, for people to inquire with me, because I have a service-based business. So for people to inquire with me, I make it so easy. I literally just ask them the least amount of questions that I need to make sure that I can confirm if I'm available or not. That's it. All the rest we can get to later, right? I just want to make sure that they kind of like get in the door with the least amount of resistance as possible. And then to book with me, it's just a one-step thing. Like, if you're going back and forth and forth and back, you are basically creating more opportunities to lose your client, lose your customer. So that would be my main focus for most businesses, especially service-based businesses. Create easy buttons, make it easy for people to buy with you, shop with you, and give you money at the end of the day. All right, I will pass it on to Rocky.
Hello. I'm gonna say, Favour, what I've been seeing that's been working well is people going back to communities. As you know, Skool is a big deal. Skool community, Patreon communities, even Facebook groups are coming back with a bang. So I think and I'm not going to say it's the fastest revenue generator, but having some kind of membership program or group community is what's been working really, really well. And I would even say going back to websites, search engine optimization, which I know you and Celeste love that shit. I don't, but but I'm seeing a lot of traffic from my general website, especially in my local area. So going back to the basics: website, email marketing, and community. Now, we'll say that AI is taking off and it is getting people a lot of traction. And it's even annoying because now I'm starting to see AI Facebook ads, and I'm like, people are like, oh, this fitness person is great. I'm like, it's AI, and nobody knows it's AI. So it's sad that the social media platforms are favoring this, and this is where they're getting the most engagement is from AI. Because that's what's working. So if you can put that into some kind of funnel system of whatever it is you sell, whether it be by the advertisement, the copy, or whatever, that's really good as well, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I don't like that. But yeah, pass it to you.
That was good, Rocky. Thank you for highlighting that. Thank you as well, Celeste. It's so true. And I know for you with SEO, you're like, nah, I'm good. Because y'all got it. Because it's a lot of technical stuff going on, but at the same time, it's really important to know these things, and it helps because SEO is not like a one-time fix. Like I always say this, you don't shower once a lifetime. or once in a lifetime. So it's consistent. It's always going to change. There's always going to be a lot of things happening. You have to always look back and say, okay, what's not working? What can work? Can we change this? Can we flip the program? Can we switch it up? And it's important to do it consistently so that we get better and better every day. And Celeste, Coach Z said she'll babysit. So I just wanted to
Girl, just send me the
mention.
shipping address, please.
I love it. So, it's very exciting to see, like you said too, Rocky, with AI, how is it going? Where are we going today? And just putting things out there. We have to be very consistent in delivery and quality, especially. Google released, there was a release that happened 3 hours ago that I got a notification on. And it says, and I'm reading it, Google removed 8.3 billion. That's more than the population in the world. We're at 8.2 billion in the world. Google removed, just think about this. Google removed 8.3 billion ads. People are just running ads on AI. Oh, buy this now, check this. And you're just like, okay. People are not able to tell the difference. 6.8 billion people have not used AI. Just think about that. So imagine how early we are right now, and people are using AI for these things, and they're getting traffic, super traffic, actually buku traffic. But if you ask yourself, is this quality? Can you keep it? Are you able to track it? Are you able to know? These give me the eyes. It's so important to think about this in 2026. So we're going to talk about how to convert traffic into revenue and also do it ethically, do it in a compliant way, do it in a fair way, and do it in a way that you'll actually be proud of, because all money is not good money. So we have to also think about revenue and how we're able to do it consistently. Tanya, we'd love to hear from you. Good evening. What are your thoughts? You say you're here to just listen, but if there's anything you'd like to say, please feel free.
Evening, everyone. I'm here to learn and then apply. May need a help in some areas, but definitely to learn. So thank you for inviting me to the stage.
Thank you for being here, Tanya.
I just have to say this because, I speak my mind. I hate when y'all say no money is good money. It's money. We're going to spend it. Hello? Money is money. Like, what are we talking about?
Rocky.
Remember were you in there in BWC when someone said that? Well, I think it was Judith. She was like, all money isn't good money. I'm like, what? I'm talking about getting paid for my job. Like, what are we talking about? Go ahead. What are your viewpoints?
Okay, so I look at it this way, right? Money is a servant. You send money on errands. So if you're receiving money to send money on errands, then I look at it spiritually. People can look at it different ways. I look at it from, okay, is this business even worth working with in the first place? Are we aligned? It's like having a relationship and both of you are equally yoked. It's crazy. It's going to be fireworks. So if you don't want to mess, you have to think about the foundation. There's some businesses there are some businesses we're working with and I'm like, even I would even want to continue because it's like, it's a little different. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, cool. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So when I look at it like that, and I look at it from the perspective of what you're receiving and what you're giving back, it also has to come from a good place, right? And it also has to come from a good place too. Because when you think about the money that you're investing into different things for family, for this, for that, let's say you did something that you actually got the money in a different way and you're not proud of it. I'm not talking about work or anything, but I'm talking about how it was received. You earned it because you got it. It's yours. It's 100% yours. But when it comes from a place, let's say it's you doing business and it's shady or it just doesn't feel right or it's like, okay, this is a lot. This is not even how we conduct business to begin with, this is not even within our policy, then that's where things start to change. So I'm not looking at it as money is like all money is not good money or all money is bad money. I'm looking at it as if money is good, then it's coming from a place that is good. But if it's not, and you don't detect that and you take it and then things happen, you'll be like, okay, how did this happen? And money is also spiritual too. You can't serve God and mammon. It's not God and the devil. It's two different things that are very, very spiritual. So I don't just look at it as
it's not
money.
the money though.
No, it's not the money.
It's the practice of the money and the businesses. All business is not good business, but the money itself didn't do anything wrong.
But where's the money coming from?
The business, but that means all businesses aren't good businesses. Make better business decisions. The money itself, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think people, and this is just my opinion, if you look at the concept behind the money, like drug money, all money ain't good money. The money's fine. How you got the money through the drugs or whatever the case is wasn't good. The precepts of how you got it wasn't good. But there's nothing wrong with the money. Because if you never knew it came from a drug dealer, you're going to spend that buck or two. I don't know. Maybe it's just my thinking.
B said something in the chat too. She said it aligns with morals. Money carries energy, which I definitely agree with. Good and bad, and it circulates. And Cool says people make bad decisions because of the money. The money is a problem. You see? So it's going to keep happening in different capacities.
But it's not the money itself. The money don't do nothing. It's the concept around the money. It's what happens with the money. The money itself did nothing. It's too deep for y'all. It's okay.
Nah, it's not deep. It's not deep enough for me not to get it. I get it. So it's like, if you look at it differently, I see what you're doing. You're more so like detaching the money itself from whatever is around it, and you're looking at the money directly. You're not looking at whatever came in, whatever came out, whatever went through. You're just looking at it. Simple, point blank, period. That's what you're looking at it as. And that's what I'm hearing. But I'm not looking at it like that, because I look at it differently, where everybody's different, of course. And it's not that deep. Like Cooley said, you're talking about physical money. We're talking about what money means. Money doesn't exist. It's energy. It's not physical. So, you see?
But that's wording. That's wording too.
You see what I'm talking about? So there's a lot of concepts around it, and I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. That's the last thing I'm here to do. So let me just make that clear.
The same thing.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
it's kind of like the same thing as like, who said a curse word is a curse word? Someone said that word was bad, and now all of a sudden it's a curse word. Who said that was a bad word? Somebody said, oh, F is a bad word, so now it's a bad word. Prior to that, F wasn't a bad word. I don't know. Go ahead, Celeste.
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe we can say all opportunities to make money are good versus saying all money ain't good money.
We can call them opportunities, because before an opportunity is even granted, it's coming from a place. And that's where conversations begin. And conversions that we're talking about today, we're talking about revenue. Yeah. If money is coming in and you're getting it from somebody who's paying for it, and they're paying you for a $9.99 ebook, you don't know who the person is. You're not going to say, oh, that money is bad because this person, you don't know these things, right? So I'm not here to say, oh, it's bad or it's good. I don't have a place in that. That's not my place at all. But like you said, opportunities, creating that space where even if the traffic that's coming in, the person who's paying you that money is aligning with your value, is aligning with your mission, your vision, your core principles, is aligning with how you process things. People can either do Sony, PlayStation, or Xbox, right? Because they like this over that. Somebody might like Pepsi over Coke, or Chick-fil-A over Popeyes. Whatever it is, it's always going to be this or that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be traffic, it's going to be quality, it's going to be people. That's where it all starts with. And it has to also come from a place. So if I'm giving the person money, or I'm donating to something, or towards a cause, or towards anything that's going to be beneficial to where my money is going, then you know that that's because you're creating something that is moving. Energy is transferred. You can't remove it, you can't add to it, it's transferred. That's why we talk about potential kinetic energy. We talk about thermal energy. Like, it keeps going on and on and on. So when you look at what we're talking about today, our bodies are electromagnetic body waves. If you think about it, right? We listen to music in hertz. We listen to words in hertz, right? From 20 hertz upwards. I think it's because I'm also within music. I'm a self-taught drummer. I listen to music. I'm very keen on my ears. So it's very, 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 very specific. So when I hear beats, drums, cadences, rhythms, bars, beats, whatever it is, it's something that I can see. So when I look at it as traffic and I connect that to business, or how business even operates to begin with, then we look at it in a way that allows us to be more specific in how we also get traffic. Because we're talking about how to convert traffic. If you get traffic today, let's say I give you 1 million subscribers today. How are you going to convert that traffic into revenue? Let's actually talk about that. Celeste, if you had 1,000, 1 million subscribers, or let's even go deeper than that. Let's say you had 1 million emails. How are you going to turn that traffic into revenue? Celeste, Rocky, anyone can go.
I'm gonna send 1 million emails a day. No, I'm playing.
Yes.
Oh gosh, here's a 3-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, wait, they're asking me a question. Thank you. Okay, so if I had 1 million subscribers on my email, assuming that they all want to hear what I have to say, I would definitely try to provide as much value as possible to where people want more. I think Rocky, you were talking about the Facebook group. And listen, I'm going to tell you that I've been killing it on my Facebook group. But what I found is some people want to gatekeep info and then put it behind a paywall. And I personally don't like that strategy. I'm not saying you have to give away everything for free, but I think I might have learned this from you, Rocky. I'm trying to pinpoint who I observed do this and how I got this in my brain. Is you tell people everything and then just show them a little bit, if that makes sense. So what I do is I tell people all day long, like, hey, if you want to do SEO, here's how you do it, step 1 through 10. However, I can show you how to do this. We can get on an actual call or you can sign up for my class. I did a class last month and I made a little bit over $1,000. But before that, I was going live once a week, just telling people all the strategies. Like I wasn't gatekeeping any info. And people still wanted more. So I really think that, to circle back to your question, to me, it's really about providing value to where people are leaning in to say, oh, wow, this really helped me. What more can I get? Instead of doing the opposite, people will be like, oh, if you want to learn, here's all the money I make. But if you want to learn, then come to my class. I don't really kind of like that strategy, but to each their own. That's just kind of the way that I would handle it. So hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you, Celeste. Yeah, I love how you put that. Yeah, I love that. Okay, Rocky, what about you? And then we'll come to you, Tanya, because you said you need some help. So we'll come to you as well. Rocky?
Yeah, I love what Dee put in the chat. But for me, what I would do is create a newsletter for the email. They're on my email list, right? You said email list or no?
You were given 1 million email contacts.
Okay. So I'd have them on my email list, and what I would do is send some value, some step-by-steps, right? In every single email, there will be step-by-step links, and the link in the step-by-step will be included in the course. So for example, if I say, hey, there are 5 ways you can get monetized on Facebook, then I would give those steps in detail, and every link attached to that step would be some kind of course. I would also try to enroll them into some kind of membership where they can get this information or one-on-one contact with me directly through that email list. So the email list is cool, but it's only one way to traffic, right? There's only a one-way conversation. There's not a two-way conversation. So I would try to invite them into some kind of a community where we all can be, in conversation, asking questions, where I could be the expert to assist as much as I needed to assist them, and get that feedback back from them. And another thing I would look at is affiliate marketing. So every time I send out some kind of email, in my signature, there is something that I'm selling. However, it is in my signature. So if you happen to click it with all the value I'm giving, then you'll click it, right? And I'm with D, retargeting ads all day long, okay? I would try to segment them as much as possible. So with these downloadables, whether it's content, ads, whatever it is, then when I do have a course, then I'm going to simply create the webinar or whatever, target them, and then invite them to grow with the full program. And then also you have to think about your funneling and your systems and stuff like that. So there has to be like a top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel type thing, because everyone's at different levels. So I would make sure that they're segmented as well. And I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Rocky. These are all beautiful suggestions and implementation that all work. And it requires testing because it's not everyone that's going to work for, but it's going to work for the right people because of the responses you're getting. So that was really good. Before I say mine, Tanya, I would love to pass it to you. You said you need some help. We'd love to hear from you as well.
I have 1 million followers. I mean, only like, oh my God, I would feel overwhelmed. I would need definitely expert coaching to help me get started. And from what Rocky talked about as far as getting the newsletter and whatever I'm selling, I would kind of like have a highlight, have a focus area of what I'm trying to make a sale on, or try to do a poll to find out what the people wanted, and then try to then send out a different to each group, segment them in groups, and then whatever they wanted or they answered the poll, try to give them, be diversified and give each one of them something different, and a newsletter targeting those things that they desire. I've never done this funnel thing or anything like that, so this is all new territory for me. But thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Tanya. That was really good too. I love these ideas. These are really, really good ideas. And guys, please put in the chat as well your ideas too, because you just never know. 1 might work, 2 might work, all might work for anyone. So it's good to hear this. If I had 1 million email subscribers and they were all interested, or at least focused on getting a result from something that we're talking about because it's based on the market or the niche that is within the group, I would do 3 things. The first thing I would do is I would start segmenting them ASAP. So how I'll start doing that is I'll be looking at it based on how each of the emails, because I also think about it this way. Are they emails? Let me say it this way. Are they Google mails? Are they Outlook mails? Are they Yahoo mails? Or are they domain emails? Are they custom domain emails? Is it, favor@playinc.online? That's my email. And if somebody else has another email to be their name or their business or info or something at their website.com. So when I first segment, I'm going to be like, okay, these are the people who have Gmails or other mails like Gmail, and these are people who have custom domain emails. So I already know where I'm going from, because when I see custom domain emails, I automatically see websites, because you just have to take the @ and the prefix and keep the suffix, and before you know it, you have a full domain that you can key into the website. So I'm able to use that segment, and I'll be able to study what these businesses do, what they need help with, and see what the common denominator is. And then I'm now able to curate content that will help them. So the first thing I'll do is segment. The second thing I'll do is, of course, send emails and do polls. And I do that with Flowdesk. So that's how I'm envisioning what I'm actually could do. With polls, I'll create polls, and within these polls, I'll also create segments. So every segment is going to have a sub-segment. And then I'm able to now use the segments. Thank you, Deolu. Thanks for the love. Appreciate that. I'll be able to use these segments and go into understanding them deeper, because not everyone's coming for the same thing. So I'll be like, hey, what do you need help with? Do you need help with SEO, Pinterest, podcast, digital marketing, email marketing? List out the options that are available, web development, And then from there, I'll now know, okay, people need this or that. And the ones that already have custom domain emails, I can already see what websites they use. Some on WordPress, some on Squarespace, some on Wix, some on Shopify. So I'm able to see where they already are. Even though I'm asking them, I still want them to respond because I want it, like you said, Rocky, you want it to be two-way. You don't want it to be just one way. And then from there, I now know, okay, these polls and these questions I'm asking will allow me to write the same emails. And then the third thing I'll do is I'll create content. Most people would create content first. I'll create content last, because if I'm creating content last, then I know that I'm going to convert that traffic. So if I'm going to write an article, I could have another article, and let's say one could be free, another one could be paid. So if you want to access this article, you might need to pay 99 cents or pay $9.99 or whatever you got to pay to now access the exclusive content. Or if it's a podcast, it could be a premium audio or something that you can have access to, because you can also have private podcasts, with private RSS feeds. So when you do those private, exclusive, gated places, even though you're giving value and you're giving people for free information that they even would pay for, then like Celeste said, people will be like, I need more. I need to get this done, because you're giving them information that they can actually see. So that content now is where the traffic comes in. And when I now loop it back to where I've segmented, I'll say, hey, because you like podcasts, here are podcast blogs, or here are podcast episodes. Because you like Pinterest, or here's some comments, or here's some thoughts I talked about Pinterest that could help you with your process. So before you know it, you're doing this consistently for 52 weeks in a year. Now you notice 1 million people need something specific, and you've broken it down to different things. So now you get to know their click rate, their click-through rate, their open rates, the delivery rate, the spam rate, the unsubscribe rate. All these rates are now coming back, and you're like, okay, now I know exactly how we can turn this into that. And Murphy says 1 million email subscribers, that's too many. I would have to survey. So that's I love how you mentioned that too. That's important too. So when you now look at it from that way, instead of just setting it to one, you have to also segment them in a way. And why am I saying segmenting? Because if you just got 1 million emails, you can't just blast 1 million people. You're going to get spam. It's just going to be terrible. So I will not even send an email. That's why I'll create content last. Because technically, when you have an email, when you have a website, there's something called an SPF, a Sender Policy Framework. And within this setup, you also have to send emails that are going to allow the people who are going to receive them in their inbox. Because even if you send these emails, imagine some of the people who you're sending emails to are bouncing. It might be a hard bounce, it may be a soft bounce, you may get marked as spam. It could be anything. This person may not even be working at this company, but they could be, maybe they just, turned it off on Friday and now it's a whole new week and it's not working because you sent the email on Monday. It's a whole lot of things going on. So it's really hard to kind of like put it in one Rubik's Cube. So the idea of me saying this is so that if we're thinking about creating traffic and converting that traffic into revenue, the whole idea of what I'm even picturing or painting here is we have to think about structure. If we want to convert traffic into revenue, we have to structure. You need to know your top 3 products. You need to know your top 3 brands, your top 3 articles, things that are very important to you that if you can say it over and over again, it's something that someone can come back and see. So that way you're able to now create content that makes them more intellectually available to even pay attention to you because you've been able to spend time with them. I always give this ratio of 9-1, and it's something you can also Google too. Give 9 times, ask once. Give 9 times, ask once in 10 cycles. So imagine in 10 cycles, you have 10 weeks, right? And we have 52 weeks in a year. So that means I've asked you 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say 5. So in a year, I've asked you 5 times, but I've given you way more than 5 times. So when you now look at the response rate and you look at the open rates and all those things, that's how your traffic can also expand. Because if you do all these things and you don't have a website and you're sending traffic to the wrong place and you don't have your Google Search Console connected, you're not connecting to Google Analytics, GA4, Fathom Analytics, Matomo Analytics, whatever analytics you're using, even Microsoft Clarity, whatever you're creating and you're not able to look that back in, it's going to be hard to see what you could even do better or tweak more, or even tweak to the point where you can actually get more traffic from those bases that you get the most. Because when you're getting traffic, it could come from everywhere. But when you get traffic, and let's say 60% of your traffic is coming from this place, then you can really go even deeper to get more information about that place. So when you look at traffic and revenue, look at it also as places and not just traffic. Traffic can come from all kinds of places, but when you do it more specifically to target the places that you want to have more intensity in interactions, that's where engagement comes in. So if you're connecting to people who like to go to the gym, people who like to go for a swim, people who like to cook dinner, people who like to take their pets on a walk, people who like jogging, it gets very specific. So that way you're able to really have a deeper understanding, and user preferences is way better than just guessworking. So I wanted to just give you that as that picture as well. Duo Music, thanks for being here. Yes, Rocky. What's up, John?
Yeah, can I share something real
Of
fast? It
course.
reminded me of a friend that I have. She doesn't have 1 million. She has maybe about 600,000 email lists. And I'm like, how are you managing that? She's so smart. She has brand deals. She has each of her emails segmented so that she sells her, not sells her email list, but she says, hey, I have an email list of 50,000 people that are into skin and beauty. And then she collects the brand deal. And all she does all day is blast these products as a newsletter to her email list based on how it's segmented. So I sat there, and I've shared this story before because it blew my mind, Favour. She was like, watch this, girl. Sat there, click send, and I watched her freaking Stripe go up like crazy from the things that she was selling based off of the separate segmented brand deals that she had in an email list. And also wanted to add, and I know we're not talking about email in particular, but I just cleaned up my email. And when I tell you, Favour, my feelings are hurt. I went from over close to 5,000 email subscribers to 900 email subscribers because I cleaned up my list and I sent tons of re-engagement emails and they just weren't engaging. So holding on to a huge number on your email, it's really insignificant if they're not converting. My list is smaller now. However, the conversion rate and open rate is way, 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 way higher because I segmented them and I weeded out the people that's been there with me for like years but weren't doing anything with it.
That's what I'm talking about, Rocky. I know it feels like, man, I'm going down in the numbers, but it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality of the numbers. And I love that you did that. That's a big move. So applause to you. Huge one. And there's going to be way more coming your way.
I did cry in my pillow. I'm just letting you know. I cried for a little bit.
I know. It's like, oh my goodness, you're going away. I can't. Oh, wow. It's different. I know exactly what you mean, because when you do that, it changes everything, because now you're able to see clearly, you're able to be more specific, and if they do come back, they'll know where to find you. So it's not like they're gone, but if they're able to come back and even come back better, it's even better for them because now they'll have a better experience. So I look at it from that positive side and optimistic part too. And when I think about it as well, like you said, when you segment your emails and you also segment them based on the last time they were active, it's a great thing to do, because that's what I also do in my email list. I will say on Flowdesk, here are the last 365 days. And then the people who are not active in the past 366 plus, then I'm able to segment them both. And I know, okay, these people have not been active. This is what we need to do. If they're not active again, then if I keep sending the emails, it keeps bouncing, it keeps going, and that actually cleans them out. So every time you send one email, so people don't do this, but this is best practice. Anytime you send an email, before you resend that same email 24 hours later, or resend or send another email entirely, go to your audience, and wherever you use your email subscriptions, you can go to where you have your contacts, and then filter them out by bounces, by activity, unsubscribes, cleanups, like Rocky said, and also spam. So if they all did anything, and let's say you sent an email to 100 people and 20 people unsubscribed, cleaned out, bounced, delete them. Don't keep them. Because if you keep them and you send another email, you're just chunking it up. Before you know it, you have a whole backlog, and you wonder why your bounce rate is looking like that. You wonder why your open rates are looking like that. So everything changes. But once you're able to now clean those lists up, eventually people can start to see it, and they're like, oh, okay, now we're getting emails correctly. And one thing I'll let you know too, if you're listening to this, and if you haven't done this, please try this out. Go to Google Postmaster. You can go to google.com/postmaster. and you can subscribe, and it's free. So once you connect your domain to Google Postmaster, it also allows you to be compliant. So when you're sending people emails, even though they have an at their domain.com, it's coming from a Google Workspace. It could be coming from a mail, box from Outlook Mail. It could be coming from Apple Mail, but it's also coming from a place that is business friendly. So just wanted to make that note so that when you're sending out emails, you can do it better. But Rocky, applause to you, and I'm excited to see where this goes in 2026. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Dua, thanks for being here. We'd love to hear your question. It's so good to see you. I know Dua in person. We go way back, like since 2019. And guys, fun fact, by the way, you know that picture that I have on my podcast, or the one that I have with my fingers when I was taking, like, it looked like a balloon. I think if you look at my profile picture and you swipe, she's the one that took that picture, and it was my birthday photo shoot. So just want to shout out to you, Dua. Passing it to you.
Thank you so much, Favour. Hi, guys. Glad I jumped into this room. Favour knows that I'm always asking him for help because I do have a clothing company that I started, and I do a lot of other things like content creation, and I'm trying to convert that whole content creation, giving of value. I'm trying to monetize it because I don't know. I feel like I'm giving out so much value, and a lot of people have told me monetize. I don't know how, So I'm trying to figure it out a little. I'm trying to figure out the digital marketing. The digital products, avenue, and I've started to create some. But now I'm trying to figure out how do I now take the value that I've been given. Which this whole thing kind of started during COVID. Started on this app, Clubhouse Buta, club that has over 6,000 members now, and we still have that community. I still have that big old community of people that still love what I'm putting out or what we're talking about, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I monetize my value and all these things that I'm putting out? And so now I'm getting into the digital product, area. However, I'm trying to figure out how do I now make sales from my digital product. Now that I've sat down, I've created the digital product, I've converted, some of what I've been doing for all these years, making nothing out of it. Okay, I'm now putting the content out there. I'm creating the value. How do I now get the sales? I think that's one of the things I'm kind of struggling with. Also with my clothing brand. So far, so good. What has worked for me is just word of mouth, but I know that it could be way bigger than that if more people find out about my clothing. It could be what I'm doing now could be way bigger than that. Right now, the people who patronize me or who reach out to me, or the people that I know, friends of that kind of thing. But I want to break out of that friends of friends shell or families shell. I want to be global. I want people, in the other part of the country to see my product and purchase it. So that's kind of where I am, and that's why I'm listening to see what I can learn from some of you guys who are experts in business and marketing and strategy and all that kind of stuff. So thanks, Favour, for having me here. That's kind of like my spiel, Yeah.
Thank you, Dua. That's a great question. And I'll say this for Clubhouse, and then I'll go outside of Clubhouse. So for the ones on Clubhouse, because you have your house, if you have, I don't know if you do, I haven't checked, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying this in 4/10. If you have an email list already, great. And if you have an email CRM, a platform that you can be able to send emails through, and if you don't, I'll send you my Flowdesk. I'll put the link in the chat, also for anyone who wants to use it as well. And when you create your link, this link will allow you to get contacts into your Flowdesk form. Because when people talk about landing pages, Flowdesk can create a landing page, because with a landing page, if let's say somebody's looking for more content like this, or let's say you want to connect with them deeper, then you could even create, let's say, a lookbook. that they can now say, okay, if you want to get this lookbook, download this or give me your best email. People normally say first name and email address. I usually say best email, because when you put the words best email, then people are going to think twice before they give you their email. If you just put email address, they'll give you any type of email address. You didn't ask them specifically what email address, so it's not to them, it's to you. So if you give them the best, thank you, Jonathan, and you tell them best email, not even address. Once they hear email, they know what that is. So once you put best email and first name, then now you have quality. Now you've been able to get the right information. And if they're on Clubhouse, I know on Clubhouse you can put links now. So if you go to Clubhouse and you put the link from your flow desk and tell people, hey, if you want more information outside of Clubhouse, here's the link, sign up, and then create preferences. If you want this or that, you can put those preferences out, and that already creates your segments for you before you even send an email. We did this with a client, and she spoke in Detroit because she does AI education for kids K through 12, and she had an event, an in-person event. So I told her, okay, let's create a QR code. Let's make sure the kids know exactly what they need to do. And she signed up from that event and got 31 contacts. She has 31 contacts in her account right now from an event that had over 300 plus people or so. And she went there to speak. She had a keynote. So now she's going to use that to now speak with the kids, with the parents, AI for education. So it's a big deal. She's built a whole system. So why I'm saying this is because when you start showing up on Google, she's even telling me, hey, people are telling me that they're seeing me online for this, for that. And it's not even up to months, because she has a very specific market. So your market is also very specific too. And if it's clothing, that's a different market entirely, because now you're dealing with products. So on your product store, there are things that you can also add there that can allow you to be on Google. Like there's Google Merchant. That's a free platform. There's Google Shopping. So once you connect your website and your products there, and you have the right SEO meta fields, the tags, everything is in place. And now, especially with AI, there are new developments that have happened, because 2024, even 2025 SEO is not the same as 2026 SEO. We're looking at your robots tags. We're looking at your user agents. We're looking at your NL webs, which is your natural language web. How are you responding back to those sitemaps? How are you responding back to those algorithms? So a lot has changed, and I'll definitely want to look at it, so that I can see what the structure looks like. But internally for Clubhouse, you can get people to your flow desk or to your email platform through a link that they can sign up on, so they can actually be with you outside of Clubhouse, which a lot of people used to do before we even had links at the top of the room back in the day. And then you can now take that outside and just create blogs too. Rocky, would love to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah, Dua, how large is your Clubhouse space, or your house?
I think she said it was about 6,000.
Yeah, I have over.
You done put her to sleep, Favour. Oh.
Yeah.
You said, put the girl to sleep. You said 6,000. 6,000?
Over 6,000 members. Yeah.
Okay, what I would look at, because I don't care what anybody says, Clubhouse is far from dead. That is a number, right? And I don't know how, and I understand you have your own business, but you can get sponsorships from your room. This is an advertising space. You can charge for advertising space to your community. So I have 17,000 in my house, and I have a brand sponsorship from Super Profile, and a couple of other ones are coming as well, because they don't know what Clubhouse is. Unfortunately, we don't have analytics. However, you have 6,000 people. Now, I learned that now Facebook is growing fast. Clubhouse is growing faster than ever. So if you continue to do your regular spaces and build those numbers up, and maybe document how many are coming to your room, how long they stay, the retention rate, all of that, you can reach out to brands and say, hey, this is a good advertising space for you, or you can come in yourself and advertise for however much, because that's how I'm monetizing. Another thing you can think about too is, are you on YouTube at all? Dr. Fashion's down there, she'd be proud.
No.
Okay, so Dr. Fashion she forced me to do something, to go live on YouTube. So I've been doing Clubhouse rooms while going live on YouTube, depending on what you have to show. And my lives have been going crazy. Not only that, people are actually buying from YouTube. YouTube people are buyers. That's what I'm learning. Like, wow, people are actually like, where do I buy this? Where do I sign up for the community? Where at? So you can definitely
Wow.
multicast. Yep, you can definitely multicast, and that's a way for you to get out there as well.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. That makes so much sense. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to do that.
And can I ask you a question, Dua? Sorry, I was
Yeah.
trying to ask it and then I didn't hop in fast enough because I want to make sure I understand. I think your original question was you have a digital product to sell and you
Yes.
were trying to figure out how to do that. What exactly is a digital product? I
Okay,
don't
so
recall you saying.
I'm trying to get into the digital product space based off of like what I started here on Clubhouse. So I've built this community basically on and off the app, and most of where what have been doing now is going towards like the relationship space. So I know that like there's a whole I talk about relationships and marriages and all that stuff, trying to help people heal and counseling, and basically that's kind of where everything that I've been doing in Clubhouse all these years is leading me towards, right? So I'm trying to now create like workbooks for not I'm trying to I have created like workbooks to help people like going through like heartbreaks, going through breakups, learning how to date the right way, things like that. So I've been creating those digital products, and now I'm trying to figure out how to. It's basically me trying to monetize what I've been doing here on Clubhouse. All the stuff, all the years of talking, I'm now putting it down into actual products and trying to figure out how to get people to those products or get people to actually purchase those products. And it also has led me to also create the clothing brand, because it's all kind of linked, it's all kind of tied in. Everything that I'm doing, the name of my club is Cool Christian Corner, Cool Christian Clothing, Cool Christian Podcast, so everything is tied together. So I'm trying to figure out how to get into the digital product space. So I have created workbooks and things like that can help people on their journey, through relationships, dating, marriage, all that stuff. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Well, I love Rocky's advice. I'm also making a note of the YouTube thing. Thanks, Dr. Fashion. And it sounds like you regularly host spaces on Clubhouse. So you just put your link up there, girl?
I put the link up there. I try. I'm really trying to really like push the stuff, Yeah, I do put the links up there.
Okay. Well, the one thing too, which I don't know if you know this already. If you do, apologies. If I'm assuming you have this digital product like on a website of some kind,
Yes.
whatever the link that is, you can change your meta title on your webpage, and that is what you see how at the top how it says need SEO services and resources.
Mm-hmm.
That's the actual meta title of Favor's, like his web page and link that this is on. So if you haven't already, because what most people do is just copy the link and put it up there, and it's like workbook, relationships. Does it say something like that, or what does it say when you put it up there?
Actually, I need to go look at my last room and see what it said. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can literally customize that so easily, even if it's like based on your room title, like, hey, do you want to learn more about this? Click here. Something like that to really grab people's attention, I find does help. So just a little tidbit, but yeah, you can change that for free on your website.
And here's one, this is Uncle John. There's, and by the way, Favour Rocky, good to see you all. Favour Rocky and myself have Clubhouse Plus. You see the plus next to our name? What that means is you can have up to 6 links. And so you can have a link to your website, you can have a link to other, when you have the regular Clubhouse, you're stuck with Instagram and X. And Instagram, people love it, but people don't buy a whole lot from there, and it's not good at directing traffic. So if you go to mine, for example, if you're going to do a room, this is for Duo or for anybody, if you're going to do a room and you have Clubhouse Plus, you can put a link up top easily. But if you're in someone else's room, you can always say this simply: check out my 5th link on my on my bio, and that'll take you, I think it's to the YouTube channel, and subscribe to that and watch the videos. So it's a really simple way to direct traffic and draw traffic to your website.
Well, thank you. Can I ask a question? So I've always heard that it's like a numbers game, right? You need like a whole lot of traffic to get like maybe a few sales, or to like get people to actually purchase what you're selling or get what you're selling. So is it about the traffic, or is it about the value? Because I also heard someone say, I don't know who was speaking earlier, they were saying that they give a lot of value and then they offer something or something like that. I heard it, but I had just joined the room. So
I was going to ask a question to that duo, because, and I love to hear from everyone on stage. I personally, this is just me, digital products aren't selling as well as they used to anymore. So it depends on what your digital product is, because people have AI. So is it informational, something they can Google? Is it an experience? I've actually switched to interactive ebooks, meaning inside of my ebooks are video links to my YouTube where I'm instructing them inside of my ebook. So it's not just information, and that's what's been selling for me. Or done for you, or like things like that sell, but if it's just informational, it doesn't sell as good. I don't know what y'all thoughts are about that as far as digital products. I think personally, because you are in if that's where you were talking about relationships, I think a community would probably be a lot better than just selling digital products, because there's a lifespan to that.
That's a great one, Rocky, too. And thank you for this question, Dua. When you look at the traffic and revenue conversion values, they're different, because some people say, yeah, you need a lot of traffic to go viral, but when was the last time you purchased a product from a viral video? Sometimes that could happen. Sometimes it cannot happen, depending on where it's positioned, right? Because positioning equals to sales. So it's very subjective. Now, when you look at top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, YouTube, like Rocky said and Celeste said too, and shout out to you, Dr. Fashion, is bottom of funnel. Because even if you get 25 views, 100 views, those are 100 people. That's a percentage of people who are interested in your product specifically that could actually purchase your product. So when you're looking at traffic, Google would now be top of funnel, because that's where everybody searches. Middle of funnel will now be your website. It could be LinkedIn. It could be somewhere that's social based, that is going to be community based. And especially with relationships, that's where a lot of conversations happen. Do quizzes. LinkedIn is amazing for quizzes or polls, or rather polls. You can put a lot of polls on there. If you're using YouTube, you can do the same thing in your community, create polls, let people interact, because what you're doing is you're giving people a chance to respond. So if your product is heavy on community, then that's where you're looking at those views, and not just as low views, but actually conversions. Because when you start noticing that the search volume for something is very small, it doesn't mean that the place is saturated. It means that it's specific to that niche. So when people are looking for power tools, or they're looking for a specific type of, let's say like for you, it's cool Christian clothing. If they're looking for Christian podcasts, you're going to be in a very specific niche. If you're looking for a relationship podcast, that's a completely different niche, even though it's the same affinity, but it could have a completely different subset. So the genre and everything you're doing have to also interlink, and your website is going to be where everything stems from. Like Celeste was saying with meta titles, those titles play a big role. If you have titles, I'll give you an example. If you put brackets in your titles, you are already increasing your chances of being seen at least by 38%. If you put brackets in your titles, and it's within that 50 to 60 character limit with spaces, that in itself is already specific. When you send emails and you put brackets, when you have articles, you put brackets, those drive attention. It drives high speed retention, because you're able to see people clicking because of what they're seeing, and to say, oh, and the fifth point is a bonus. And then they'll click on it because they want to know what that bonus is. So you want to create it not for clickbait, but to let people have more understanding, so they can actually connect better. Austin even said it too in the chat. CTAs matter a lot. They don't know what the value is, and many will click and explore before and after receiving the value. So like when you have visitors, you have website visitors. There are two types of visitors. They're either going to be new visitors or returning visitors. So if they're returning after they first visited you for the first time, then they're going to come back because they saw something the first time that they liked. So it's going to be that retention. Even when you do retargeting campaigns, you're actually spending at a lower cost and you're earning at a higher conversion lift, and you're actually working with a smaller niche because you're retargeting at a percentage of the full amount. So when you look at the percentages and you look at the sales and the revenue and the sales and the revenue back into the traffic, then it's based on how well you've been able to position your traffic and know exactly where they can find your links to now connect with you. So if it's a one-time link, they can find everything there, your products, your services, your podcast. Make it like a candy store. Let people connect with you. And that way you can now choose, but on your end, you've been able to set up the bricks, you've been able to set up the operations, and it's easy for you to track and know what's going on. So right now it's heavily based on the system, but all these things can work, together. Dua, does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
And can I chime in on Rocky's question
Yeah,
before we
let's
move
go.
on? That'd be okay. So Rocky had asked, like about digital products. Oh, by the way, I did want to put in, I'm all about data. I'm the data girly. Keep in mind, don't be too hard on yourself. I think the average conversion rate in the US for any kind of product is right around 8%. It's incredibly low, okay? Then Rocky was talking about the digital product. So for me personally, I think it's about knowing your audience. So I sell a particular e-guide to a group of artists, y'all, okay? Now, if you know anything about artists, most of them are ADHD and they are visual learners, okay? So when I am talking to them, it's like cool, but they want to see something. So that is where I have this e-guide. It's literally created for just creatives and artists. And there are a lot of visuals. So basically, I do my little spiel. Oh, here are 3 things you can do to increase your SEO. But then I'm like, hey, if you really want a visual example of what I'm talking about, you want to take this to the next level, you can buy this e-guide. Keep in mind, it is what we would call a low ticket item. It's only $27, okay? And I have sold, I think, somewhere around 60 of them, and I've had it for about a year. And I did not use AI to create this. Also, a lot of artists are anti-AI, so I do pride myself on saying that, and it's true. I spent 6 hours straight working on this e-guide, y'all. But I sell it like a lot. So, moral of the story, I just think you have to know your audience, because okay, I'm a part of my audience, which helps, but just knowing like the demographic, their learning style, things that really make them lean in is really, really key. But Rocky, I do like how you put that yours is more interactive. I definitely need to pick up what you just put down. So thanks for sharing that.
Big ones. Thank you. Thank you so much. This was a great way of talking about traffic and revenue in 2026, because there are so many ways: affiliate links, guest posting, backlinks, like even Rocky said with the list. You can send your list out and let people know, hey, I'm about to send your contact to this person if you click on this link, and it's a disclaimer, and when it actually goes, they accept that. So creating that consent and also allowing them to feel like, okay, yeah, I also want this too, then it actually makes it more exciting and more rewarding than just blasting emails or blasting posts or just blasting content at people. So it's really, really good. America's Supermom also put something in the chat for you, Dua, and this is also for anyone in the room. I don't want to forget that. She said, if you're interested, we have a shopping channel on Zondra TV network that might work for you. So if you scroll up, Dua, in the chat, and you'll see America's Supermom's post in the chat, you're going to click on the link. It's boards.com/a/ the rest of the details are there. Once you click on it, reach out to her. That could also help too. And I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that in case y'all didn't see that. I'm seeing everything in the room. So I wanted to make sure I can let you guys know. So thank you so much for sharing that too. John, we'd love to hear from you. What ways are you seeing in 2026 to convert traffic into revenue, especially for you because you're more in the radio space and it's dealing with a lot of people and impressions, connections, and traffic?
Yeah, the thing is working best for me. And by the way, my average conversion rate is about 16% because I don't sell anything. Depending on what you sell, it could be much lower. It could be 2%, it could be 8%, like the person was saying. It's easier for me to get people because they don't have to buy anything. They don't need a credit card. So what's working best for me is Facebook. Then Facebook paid ads. And they recently had a big change in their algorithm. And I don't have it in front of me, but the return on ad spend has dropped tremendously because they're changing the way they used to put a lot of preference on engagement being clicking the emojis, commenting or sharing. Now it's on commenting or sharing and saving. That's more important to them than anything else. So today I started changing things around, started focusing more on questions, but overwhelmingly Facebook dominates for me. Secondly, I would say this, for those who have a business, sometimes and this is right up Favor's alley, it's more about marketing than your content. It's more about marketing, and by the way, this is Rocky's wheelhouse too. It's more about your marketing than your content. And I'll give you an example. The podcast Serial was a top 0.01% ranked podcast worldwide. It did millions of dollars in revenue every year. They didn't put out a new episode for 6 years, and yet it still continued to dominate because they continued to market constantly through social media, SEO, you name it. They did all that stuff. And with 4 years of episodes, let's say, for example, there's a churn rate. People are not going to stick around. So you constantly got to be getting new people, new visitors to your podcast, your website, whatever it might be. Now they're starting to produce more content. But just remember that 6 years, and I'll close on this. Anybody know this guy, Gareth Noon from Donegal, Ireland? He goes, follow me, I'm delicious. He does the videos. His audio quality sucks. He doesn't care. He puts out the content. He's making about $35,000 a month off YouTube alone. So sometimes it's really about getting in front of your audience. It's more about marketing and promotion than it is about the quality of your content. So I'll close on that.
Thank you, John. That's a good one. Sometimes we try to make it picture perfect when they don't even care. They just want the information. They just want the results. They just want what they came for. And sometimes we overcomplicate it when it should just be simplified. So that was really good. Thank
I
you,
have
John,
a
for that.
question really quick. Can I ask John a question?
Go
Because he
ahead.
said something I didn't want to skip over it. So I know you mentioned that your conversion rate is around 16%. Congrats. But you also say you don't sell anything. Can you explain to the audience what you mean by that?
Everything I do is advertising, it's paid advertising. So my podcast is free to listen to, and advertisers pay me to be on my show. Same with social media is another revenue stream. Facebook is Meta is a revenue stream. They pay me every month to produce content. YouTube, this is courtesy of Dr. Fashion, who was down in the audience. She gave me a tip, and that tip that I implemented within, I'd say now it's 14 days, maybe 21 days, 2,100 followers. If you know that YouTube, the basics of monetization, you got to have 2,000 followers and 4,000 hours of videos for the base level monetization. So you can do it too. And that was using ChatGPT. It was a mind-blowing, simple thing. But I don't sell. I try to get consumers and listen to my content or follow me on Facebook. And that's just two of my about 7 revenue streams. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. So the specific 2% from.
Good question. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for that too. I wanted to mention, Jeff Ilali said some things I wanted to highlight. He said, If you want more consistent lead flow, better conversions, and less wasted time, which is very important because we do not have time to waste, you need to focus on inbound lead sources. Inbound lead sources. And he also said SEO and AI optimization is the most valuable lead sources you can have in any industry. Otherwise, you will always have to continue paying money for leads. It's true. Very true. Thank you for highlighting these things too, because when you look at SEO, AI, visibility, and creating content for your consumers, you're looking at the basis of how these people are also coming in. You know, I've talked about this before. There's zero party data, there's first party data, second party data, and third party data. So if you're able to know exactly how all your parties, I can say, are working together, then the data acquisition that you're going to create will be more qualitative than quantitative. And if you're also sending traffic and receiving traffic because you post blogs, you post articles, you have an XML sitemap, you have a robots text file, you have JSON, you have a lot of things that are very specific to attributing back to your structured data, which is your website, then you can actually start seeing your conversions because you're able to show up more in places that actually connect with you over time. The average bounce rate is between 30 to 40%, which is fair, really, really fair, because people have bounce rates that are 90%, 80%, 70%. So that's where you can also see a safety net too. And we've worked with clients that had a bounce rate of 2%. It's very possible. So if you think about your niche market and think about how that translates into the number of leads that you get, how you're able to now translate that first party data from zero party data, how you're able to connect the dots and say, okay, people come to my website and I'm able to even track that because I can see people coming in and I can see where they're coming from. And if you're able to track all those things, it's easy for you not just to have a website, but to have an operating system that allows you to actually drive traffic, conversions, conversations that actually people want to hear, listen to, or watch. So it's very specific on how we're able to, focus on those things as well. So thank you so much, Jeff Filali, for those comments. I mentioned something too, and I will say this after John, and I'll also talk about what Tracy said. Go ahead, John. John, are you there? That was a quick. No, you're fine. You're fine. Tracy said something too. Please, guys, don't forget about this too. She said, yes, and pay attention to your Google Search Console. Endless valuable data there. Yes, Google Search Console is your best friend. I always say this. Google Search Console is the internet service provider for Google. So if you're not on Google Search Console, you cannot be on Google. That is the only way you can be on Google. Yes, you can be there by happenstance, but if you really want to track it, if you want to validate it, if you want to make sure you can index, serve, rank, fetch, crawl, do all the things that you need to do technically to be sound and sane online, then yes, Google Search Console is important. Also, Bing Webmasters too. Connect those two because Bing also allows you to get traffic and analytics that allow you to import from Google Search Console. So try those out. Those are free as well. Luann asked me about a question with Flowdesk, and I want to come to that because you said, Favour, how long have you used Flowdesk and how do you like it? You can discuss this in another room if that's more appropriate. Thank you. I will talk about this and I'll probably bring a whole Flowdesk room, just to discuss that topic alone. But Flowdesk has changed my life. And this is about traffic and revenue. I'll tell you guys the numbers so that you can also see it too. When I joined Flowdesk in 2019, it was about $19 a month around there, because it was early days. And you get unlimited emails, unlimited subscribers, which I still have today. So I'm not paying per subscriber. If I have 1,000, 10,000, a million, the price doesn't change. So I've been there since the beginning, and now I'm a partner with them, with Flowdesk. And they're two founders, and they're both women. They started in Silicon Valley in 2018. So I've been using Flowdesk, and why I chose Flowdesk is not because of the price, but because of the technical setup. I don't look at the price, I look at the technical setup first. Why I chose Flowdesk, because I was coming from Constant Contact, and before that I was on MailChimp. I joined Flowdesk because I did some study. I did some analytical background case study referencing, and I realized they didn't tell me this, but I even told them, hey, I noticed this. And they're like, yeah. So I noticed that their Flowdesk account, their platform, technically, they work with Amazon SES. Amazon SES stands for Simple Email Service. So if you know about Amazon and how fast Amazon is, then you can tell that the speed and the technical setup is also very fast. So I said, okay, I'm going to join this and see how it goes. And they've been evolving ever since. Right now, I'm averaging, my list is about close to 10,000, and we're averaging around, last year around this time, it was at 2%, 2.4% or so, which was at click rates. And now we're at 24% click rates. And it's still going up. So the graph is literally like going up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you look at it from a year over year standpoint, it's just shooting up on a trajectory upwards towards the right. So looking at that with Flowdesk, because it's consistent, you have to start saying, okay, it's going to be 2%, and then it's going to be 10%, it's going to drop, it's going to come back up. And using the platform has helped in so many ways, because now I know my community so well. I know what they like for breakfast. Like, it's that deep, because I'm able to understand and get to know them, not just because we talk about SEO or we help businesses with maximizing their visibility. We've helped clients that have sitemaps that had over 1,000 sitemaps and 50,000 URLs within each sitemap that couldn't figure out what was going on, and we fixed the problem because they were having an issue with their websites and they were going literally on a Titanic. And I was like, if we don't fix this now, it's not going to be good for you guys in the next 6 months, especially with the Google Spam March update that happened this March, the Google Discovery update that happened in February. So a lot is happening. And I talk about it on my We Don't Play podcast show on wedon'tplaypodcast.com. So I mentioned it to him, and thank God they're now back on track and everything has been fixed and they're good to go. But why am I saying this? If you're thinking about traffic, yes, you need to connect your website, you need to be on these platforms. But if you don't have someone looking over these things, or you knowing exactly what to look at, then meticulously it could actually harm you, because you might end up seeing things that you don't understand, and it's going to be hurting you more than helping you. So if you want to turn your traffic into revenue, your goal should be quality. Your goal should be contacts. Your goal should be conversations. So that when you're able to build that over time, it helps more people to connect with you, and it allows more people to find you. Do you know that Google literally holds 82 plus billion searches? Billion. If you put all social media together combined, it doesn't even match up to Google's threshold. So imagine if you're on Google, because Google is so unsaturated, you can be on Google and people are connecting with you there. We've connected new websites. They're getting 11% click-through rates. And you wonder, why is this happening so fast? Because it's a niche market. It's very specific. We're not trying to be everywhere. We need to be somewhere. You need to be at the right place at the right time for the right reasons. So it's so important to think about it right now. And if you have a website, your website could also be a place of reference, because people say, oh, how do I show up on AI? How do you show up on AI? How do you show up on all these LLMs? You have to also connect your website to make sure that you have the right tracking codes. You have the right robots files, text files. You have to have the right structured data maps. You're able to understand these things. And it's so important. I talked about it. You guys can Google this Web Almanac, ALMANAC. You can Google it for yourself and see what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about with HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We're talking about how things are done from the base. So if we want to think about traffic, conversions, clicks, open rates, and all these things, it boils down to your technical setup. It boils down to your technical setup. So it's very, very important to think about these things today. Jeff Filali says, a large majority of people no longer use Google or Bing. They're using ChatGPT as their search engine now. That's why AI optimization is key in today's market. And then exactly that, people are using ChatGPT now. That's what Dua said. Tracy said, Google will always be relevant, and I also use ChatGPT, but I relay more on Google for data and feedback. Ask Google if you're having issues with anything else related to Google. And then Jeff Filali says, over 75% of my traffic comes from LLM now. It used to be like 90% Google. That's true. Thank you for sharing that. Now, there's something to mention now. I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention this again. I'll say two things. There was a story that was done by Google, and Google actually released this around 4:14 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Google said that, and I talked about this early in the room when we started. I'll say it again for some people who are not here. Google removed 8.3 billion ads. We're 8.2 billion people in the world. So Google removed 8.3 billion ads using AI to detect 99% before running. That's a big deal. Now, if you look at my picture, if you click on my face and you swipe to the fourth picture, you'll see this. I mentioned this before. Yes, we're 8.2 billion people in the world, and 6.8 billion people have never used AI in the world. And when you think about ChatGPT or people using bots, we have a long way to go. So Google has been there, and people say, is Google valuable? Is Google here? Google is still here. That's why there's AI mode. That's why there's Gemini. That's why very soon there's going to be something called Google Disco. There's a lot of things that we have to look at and not ignore Google. And it's good to be on Google, but it's more important to be on the semantic web. And Jeff says that's after investing the time to optimize properly for LLMs. If you don't have, Tracy's looking with the owl. If you don't optimize your website structurally, I don't mean writing content and putting FAQs, because that's also bait. That's why they have a March spam update for these reasons. If you're creating content today in 2026 on your website, you have to focus on structured data markup language, schema. You have to focus on how your website is being transcribed. I'll give you guys something to see, just to finish this off. Go to this website, serpapi.com. Go to serpapi.com, and you're going to see on the left side, you're going to see Google. On the right side, you're going to see code. So whatever we are writing on our mobile phones, our desktops, our tablets, it's coming from that code. And if you literally type anything, you can see any country, any city, it will tell you the number of people living there exactly by base, by location, and you search for something. And if you don't see yourself in that listing, that means you're not available within that API system. That means you're technically not on Google Search Console. That means technically you're not within the search database. I mentioned it before, Google Search Console is Google's internet service provider. If you have Xfinity, if you have Verizon, if you have whatever you use, and you are connecting to the network, you need Wi-Fi to connect, right? You need a satellite to connect. So if you want to be within Google's satellite for people to find you, because google.com is not the only search engine, there's google.co.uk, there's google. Something else. There are so many other search engines. So don't just look at google.com. That's what we use in the US, but other people use other extensions. So don't just look at Google as one size fits all. There's a lot of things that are moving, but if your website is part of it, you can definitely do that for yourself and make that even better too. And SEO is not LLM optimized. You have to do both. That's true. Thank you so much for that, Jeff Filali. Celeste, what are you seeing with AI and SEO these days? What's coming to you in your neck
Don't
of the
trigger
woods?
me, Favor. You already know. We just talked about this yesterday. ChatGPT can kiss. No, okay, let me settle down. So Favor really gave me, listen, his replays are on. I would highly encourage y'all, if you have free time, like just while you're driving or something, maybe check out the last few rooms, because I personally have gotten a lot of great tidbits of information. Favor brought up such a good point yesterday. As you know, AI pretty much scrubs the already existing information on the internet to generate these results. AI stands for, the I is intelligent, yes, but the A is artificial. So that means it's not just giving you an opinion, it's giving you facts that are already there. And the more that I analyze our conversation, Favor, I was like, he's right. I need to be on all the things if I want ChatGPT to start recommending me. Long story short, y'all, I have an issue with ChatGPT, but all the other AI search bots recommend my business except for ChatGPT. I don't know. So anyhow, moral of the story, and to answer your question, I just feel like now more than ever, we need to kind of try to, I'm not saying you have to be like on every single platform every single day, but having a presence on multiple different platforms to me is a great idea because, like I said in the beginning, AI can only pull from information that's already there. And if you are places that your competitors aren't, to me, that gives you an advantage. I'm personally a favor, mark my words on this, give me like a month. We'll have this conversation again. I'm gonna literally go and do all the things that you said, and then we'll ask ChatGPT again, and we'll see if anything changes. So that'll be a great case study. Hopefully that answers your question.
It did. Thank you. Thank you, Celeste. And I'm glad you're doing it because I looked at your market yesterday. We did a live audit of your website and your business, not even just on the site, but where's everything else coming from? Where is it going to? And who's most recommended? Who's least recommended? Why? It's big. And I even talk about this thing with AI SEO. There's something called entity SEO. And a lot of people are not using it for their website because they don't know what it is even to begin with. So right now with the semantic web, if we are using our websites to direct traffic for the right reasons, if you sell pens, then it's different from a pen, which is semantically different from an actual pen that you have that you're writing with. It's a black pen, it's a blue pen, so it's different. And if you're talking about cat food or cat walk, those are different semantics. We might be using the same keyword, quote unquote, but it's going to be different with the semantics based on your long tail keywords, your search filters. So when we're using AI now and we're using all these entity SEO things to put back in together to just make sure that we make sense to our audience, it makes sense when we're able to give the AI bots something to do. And the best way to do it is from your website. So imagine you're telling, there are about 50 plus crawlers out there, right? There are many crawlers out there when it comes to crawling and indexing. And if your website is part of those crawling indexing factors, a lot of people can find your content because you're showing up on these tools and these platforms. We had a case study with a client, and this is when I also knew that, when I say these things, I'm hoping it's being understood because sometimes it may just go over your minds or heads, and I also want it to make sense. So I'm trying to repeat myself over and over and over and over again so you can get it. Because I didn't get it the first time, but the more I'm able to work with clients, the more I'm able to understand. I'm like, this is really what's going on. So we had a client that they had, and this is very unique, super unique because it's never happened before. And I'm like, a lot of businesses don't go through this, but some do. So they have a business, they have a website, they've been in business for over 50 years. And there was a problem with their site because they have over 30 million plus pages. So we fixed the problem. Then there was another problem I found that they didn't even know about. And I realized that when you search for their website, and you search in Googlebot will say, okay, it will give you a 200 okay, which means that the server side response is golden, it's good to go. Because there's a client side and there's a server side. So on the server side, it was good. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then I now said, okay, wait, let me switch it up and go to Google Chrome. I realized that Google Chrome did not pick up the same URL when I did the search, and it gave a 403 forbidden error. So I was like, there's a 403 forbidden error on the Chrome and there's a 200 OK on Googlebot. That means Googlebot knows that you have a link on your website within your sitemap and can index it because it's good to go, it's validated. But because on Chrome, there's a 403 forbidden error coming from your side, then they can't be able to receive it, even though Google can access it. So it became so technical that I had to explain it a little bit deeper so they could actually get it. And they were like, okay. And now it's all fixed. And we jumped them up from less than about 50K impressions to over 300,000 impressions. Their images switched from less than 11 million to over 50 million in 6 months because of these little tweaks that we did. So it's not just about content, because I can say you can have content all day, but if your content is not reaping the benefits and everything that you've done prior is still giving you extensive reach today, then the content has to be validated or restructured so that you can have a better outflow and also a better workflow for your business in 2026. So I'm just giving you these examples so that you can also hear how it could be, because I know you're like, what is this? What is that? Technically, you want to make sure that your website is accessible, it's readable, it's findable, it's clickable. Just think about those 4 things. If those things are working and everything is all interconnected, you're great. But if one of them is missing, then it's going to be a little hard to chew, because you want to make sure everything is working. You want all your legs, your limbs, your arms, everything to work, left brain, right brain, hemispheres, everything has to work together. We have to create a balance, an equilibrium. So it's important to think about these things and build into 2026, knowing that we have people that are looking for us, but the only way they can find us is if we set the red carpet for them to walk through so they can actually connect with us the way we want them to connect with us, right? So you've heard this before, dress how you want to be addressed. If you have a website, put it in a way that people can find you, accessible. Make sure it's accessible to the web and it's accessible to the user as well. So it's very, very important to think about this too. Tracy says, Google Search Console says I'm found through ChatGPT 25% of the time. and Celeste says ChatGPT needs to get their shit together. That's funny. You know what, Celeste? I'm honestly gonna challenge you. And if you do this and it works, I'm excited because I know this will happen for a fact. It's happening for me and it will happen for you. When I talked about podcasting, it's a big deal. Like for me, if you go to ChatGPT or whatever platform and you say, which are the top podcasts for Pinterest SEO or Pinterest marketing, you will see my podcast, We Don't Play, show up on that listing. I didn't pay anybody to get there. It was earned through semantics. It was earned through structured data mapping. So I know you don't like podcasting, and I know you'd be like, I'm not stepping there, but it's going to be a thing that will help, because once you have podcasts and you have all these RSS feed, which is really simple syndication, my podcast has over 660 episodes. And just knowing that within 7 years now, by August, it's been able to take over, and every episode literally has its own lifespan. So just think about it like index funding. You just put it there, you let it sit. You put it there, you let it sit. And usually with podcasting, it takes between 30 days to nine months to mature, and then it just does it again, because it's like blogs. Anytime you update your meta titles, anytime you update your posts and you have a last modified date, because AI is looking for last modified. A lot of websites just have last published. They don't have last modified. So if your website is having that and your RSS feed is last modified, new update, new podcast, new episode, and you're talking about these things, Celeste, there's no way I will say that you go to ChatGPT and it won't show you your name there, because you have an episode about something someone is searching for within your industry. It's very possible. It can take time.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because literally we need to clarify. I'm doing everything you said except for podcasts. Don't hate me, friend, but I'm not doing no podcast about face painting. I'm sorry. But everything else I'm going to do, I promise.
This is what I'm saying, Celeste. I don't want you to do a podcast about face painting because you're talking about face painting. There are 5 ways to do a podcast. Let me just clarify this. There is solo podcast, which is by yourself, which you don't want to do. There's interview, which you may not want to do. You may bring somebody else to do it for you. There's co-host, which you won't be part of the co-hosting because you're not doing it. There's roundtable, which is 3 or more, because co-host is 2. And then there's a last one, which you could do, which would be faceless or theme based. So you don't even have to do it. You don't have to be on there. Anything that you're doing social media wise, marketing wise, and it's in an MP3 format or an MP4 format, if it's in an audio format or a video format, it can be on a podcast. So I'm not telling you to say, hey guys, welcome to my podcast, we're talking about this. That's not what you want to do. That's 100%. But if you're putting content out there that is allowing people to connect with you, it's a big deal. Think about it on YouTube. What drives the most traffic and most revenue on YouTube? It's not a trick question. Which type of channels? No, they're videos, yes. Sorry?
Podcast.
No. What type of videos, what type of content produces the most?
Shorts.
It's a 4-letter word.
Love.
Sexy.
Oh my goodness.
Love.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. You're almost there, kind of indirectly. It comes from love.
Love. Oh.
We're just guessing now. I don't know.
You heard of Coco Melon?
Uh-huh.
Kids, animations, videos, they do one of the best when it comes to traffic and revenue. And Dr. Fashion, please correct me if I'm wrong, because she's the queen of YouTube, so she will definitely tell me I'm definitely
Actually,
wrong or right.
can I? Yeah, let me ask this question because I know someone that started. Well, do I know? Well, yeah, my brother started a faceless YouTube channel basically, and he does like all this AI stuff, right? And it's like AI animations, and bruh, that channel blew up. Like, I was like, is it this AI thing that you're posting? Because he makes like AI videos and like movies and short films and things like that. And in 3 months, he had like over 20,000 subscribers. And I'm like, what in the world? How? You know, is it this thing that you're doing that's getting you all these subscribers? So one thing that he was doing was that aside from posting like the long videos, he was posting a lot of YouTube shorts. And apparently YouTube shorts gets like so much views. And when he looked at his analytics, the shorts were converting into subscribers. Like the shorts were doing more of the work, you know. So now the question is for the YouTube experts is, how does he, I don't know, is the question, how does he monetize his YouTube channel and all that stuff? Yeah.
Great question. So this it goes back to the structure I mentioned earlier. And Dr. Fashion is I don't know if you're in the room because she's making content, so I'm not sure if she heard it, but I mentioned it earlier about kids. And, you know, when it comes to monetization here, that you mentioned, Dua, when you look at content on YouTube, it still boils down to structure. Because when you have a website and it has something called video schema, SCHEMA, even with podcasts have schema. There's podcast series schema, right? When you have FAQs on your website, it's FAQ schema. These are just structured data words that just mean to say that this is how the algorithms will be able to pick up your information because you're the author of the video, you have the timestamps. If that person has a website, even better for them. If they have an email list, even better for them because they're not just posting content on YouTube, but they're driving traffic off of YouTube to their website, into their website's CRM or into their platform that they're using for choice-based purposes, whether it's Flowdesk, Kit, whatever it is. There are many options out there. So if you use it that way, then that's where that revenue comes in, because with all these channels, you can also have merchandise, especially for you, Dua, since you have merchandise, I'm sure you can also connect your merchandise to YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google. So you're literally within the same, I can say, stratosphere, because that ecosystem is still happening for you and it's still within those limits or those parameters as well. So it's very important too, as well. Dr. Fashion says, did you say he needs a strategy? He needs to be connected in the program, having book a strategy call. Okay, I think I don't know if Dr. Fashion is referring to Dua, her, but
no, he's talking about her brother.
Her brother. I was not.
Yes.
Maybe I was not sure. I was like, let me make sure. Okay, so okay, cool. I'll just leave the chat alone. So make sure that you guys have everything in place. But it's very important to have your traffic base with YouTube, have it set up, and even with a podcast, you can connect your podcast to YouTube because YouTube is one of the destinations for your show. And under your I would say your YouTube studio, there's a section that says podcast, and you can either create an RSS, I won't even call it create an RSS feed, but create a podcast within YouTube, or you can submit your RSS feed, which is coming from another source, which is now, let's say you update let's say you have 100 episodes, you have 100 videos You didn't have to upload 100 times because you uploaded once and you went to all the stations at the same time. That's why I love podcasting, because it compounds your time and it actually saves your time in the future. If I wanted to be on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, all these platforms at the same time, I'm going to go through a podcast because I know all these platforms have their own links. So I have more links now that are coming back to me, including YouTube. So it's important to look at it that way, but that was a really, really good idea of how to get that going. And definitely tap in with Dr. Fashion with Create Alive. She's a real deal and she'll definitely help you and you will see amazing results. That's 100% guarantee.
Oh, and really quick, I wanted to say, first of all, do it. I love that you're on stage and thanks for sharing so openly. But I do hate that you shared that your brother has a YouTube that he monetized on AI videos. Everybody strike that from the record. Um, but I was going to say, I want to put an extra stamp on Dr. Fashion. I don't know if you know who she is, Zua, but literally she bought her mom a whole house from the earnings that she made on YouTube. So she is a wealth of
Wow.
information. Like she's the real deal. I just want to, put a stamp of approval on that and definitely have your brother reach out. And also tell him his stuff wouldn't be so easy to steal if he didn't use AI. Hello. Make it easy to copy too.
Wow. Yo, this guy spends hours making videos. I mean, they've gotten easier, but he was like one of the first people to start like experimenting, like making videos. And he would spend like hours, days making one video. And then some crazy person would steal his video. And I told him, I told him to start watermarking everything, like put his big old watermark on the whole thing. So like, because other channels are like doing the same thing or similar, but his is so good. And this thing was growing so fast. And I'm like, okay, maybe you can monetize, but I don't know. He's not making any money from it and all that stuff. So I will definitely tell him to reach out so that we can, figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, he will be excited and he would not be disappointed. That's for sure. Yeah, I definitely know that because with YouTube, you just got to know where to be, how to be. And if you need to be there, things to tweak, you can definitely be there on YouTube successfully. So yeah, definitely let him know. And the link is available in the chat. And please save the chat as well, because I know once we leave this room, this chat is down unless you go into a replay. But yes, I'm glad that we're here talking about this because you can convert traffic anywhere online. It just depends on how you filter it. It's like you can get water from the rain, but it's how you filter it that's going to determine how that revenue is going to translate. So look at it from the perspective of creativity, activity, and reactivity. That way you're able to interconnect all of them and you'll be doing so much better in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now, 24 months from now. Like you'll be like, who's this? Is this me?
Yeah. I have another question, please. And this, I don't know if this will derail the conversation. It's still around this, right? Because I'm hearing you say we need to be on all these things. And for me, I get overwhelmed because I'm like, okay, I got to be on Facebook. I got to be on TikTok. I got to be on YouTube, Instagram. I have to make sure. And then I also have to like tie all these things together. And then I also have to be, so I'm doing everything myself. I don't have any like people working for me. I haven't hired anyone yet, but I'm a full-time entrepreneur and it's like, there's just so many things to do and so many factors, like the Google stuff. So how do you do it? Like, do you have days designated for like today's for Facebook and Instagram, tomorrow Mondays for Google stuff, Wednesdays for TikTok? Like, how, man? It's a lot. Sometimes I just go to sleep. I just shut everything down. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore because it gets overwhelming trying to figure out how to like use all these platforms and then tie them together in a way that it's actually making sense, So how?
Yeah, it could be a lot. And honestly, I'll tell you what I do myself. This is where I spend a lot of my time. Today is Friday. So if I'm accounting for how much time I've spent online, this is the place that I've spent time, or I spend time mostly online on a weekly basis, whether it is search-wise or social media-wise. I'm on Clubhouse. Clearly, I'm here. LinkedIn, I'm there too. That's a really good place to connect with people. So you can swap my Clubhouse and LinkedIn, for example, Dua, with, let's say, YouTube and TikTok, right? So you don't have to use mine, but I'm just saying like how I use my time and what I'll, use within the week. And then Clubhouse, LinkedIn, and then two others I can put would be my website and email. That's where I spend most of my time in a week, because from the website, I'm able to post content. If you look at my Instagram or look at my TikTok, you may not see as much content because I'm not using those platforms to drive traffic or revenue, because I know exactly where the revenue and the traffic comes from. And of course, we can't forget the podcast, so that's where I would, put that with the website too, because they work hand in hand. So when I'm creating content, my content is coming from Clubhouse, coming from LinkedIn, coming from my podcast, coming from my website, and then I send everything to the email. So when I send it to everyone in the email, I know I've transported, if I can use that word, content from one place to the other. And for you, Dua, if you want to know, or anyone in the room wants to know how to simplify your process, this is what I do. And you can take this, please, and try it out. And let me know next week or tomorrow or anytime we talk again, or if we meet up in another room and you can tell me you tried this out and it worked or it didn't work, let's know. Go to this website, type this down or write this down. Meet, MEET, Glimpse, GLIMPSE.com. Go to meetglimpse.com. When you go to meetglimpse.com and you type in your industry, type in whatever you want, you get 10 free searches a month. So you don't have to pay for the platform. And why I'm telling you this is because of this specific thing I'm about to say next. When you search for something, let's say flowers, or you're searching for relationship talk or whatever it is that you're looking for, when you scroll down that, of course, you're going to get all the analytics and what's going on. To the right side, there's going to be a section that says social channels. So it's going to show you all the social channels that actually talk about your industry, your topic, your product, your service. And if LinkedIn is at the top, that's where you need to be. If YouTube is at the top, that's where you need to be. If TikTok is at the top, that's where you need to be. So you can start from there so that you don't have 5 platforms and you're trying to be everywhere at the same time when your audience is not even there to begin with. So it's a really good way to, I would say, streamline your targeting. So when you're now more focused on delivering content, you can actually get it from the right sources and not just get it from anywhere as well. Does that help you, Dua?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. So meetglimpse.com.
Yes, I'll put it in the chat too.
Yeah, I'm on there right now. I've never heard. Every time I talk, Favor, you tell me something I don't know. That's why I love coming in these rooms. I just wanted to chime in too, because Dua, I know you've heard this saying, and I really believe this, like, wholeheartedly. The grass is green where you water it. That's how I feel about all these platforms. Everybody you meet is going to tell you that the platform that they're on is the best, right? But it's because that is where they put in the most time, the most effort, and so they're seeing the most results. Now, I do think it is important to do what Favor said first, because what you don't want to do is put in a lot of effort and resources into a platform that your audience isn't even on. Or maybe there's another platform that more of your audience is on. But once you dial in, and this is just me, and I feel like some people, Rocky would kill me if I said this. Some people have more time than me. I'm a busy mom, so I just don't have a lot of time to be doing all the things. But so first of all, I'm a service-based business. The reality is, as a service-based business, if you go viral on TikTok, that's not really going to help you. Cool if you're able to make a little bit of coins, by getting a lot of followers and getting a lot of whatever, by being a content creator. But the reality is, if I want bookings and I want people to book my services, I have to focus on my local area. I have to focus on, I focus on corporate clients. So I've actually been seeing a lot of results on LinkedIn. A lot of people, if they're not in the B2B space, they're not going to see results there. So, 2 parts. The grass is green where you water it, and you have to figure out where your target audience is spending the most time. So I'll just land there.
Wow.
I know.
So basically, hey, you know what else? I used to do makeup, And it was always told to me that you have to know how to do everything but specialize in something. And that's also how I think about social media. Is yeah, you're everywhere, but are you really specializing in all the things? No. You're going to dial in on the places that your people are and then focus on that. But still try to have a presence everywhere, if that makes sense.
Right. Because I try. I'm like, I wish I could just connect everything. You know how like when you post on Instagram, it goes to your Facebook page. That one's done, right? And I'm like, I have to take the same video I just made, post it on Instagram. I gotta go post on TikTok. I gotta go post on this. Like, it's just like, okay. So you spend hours working on like one thing because that thing you have to like, spread it everywhere. You have to take it to YouTube. I just wish I could post on one platform and all of them get it. I don't know if there's an app like that. Favor, is there something like that out there where I can just
Yeah.
upload it to and just send it to everything?
I would say before, because there are so many. There are so many that come to my mind. Later.com, Hootsuite.com. There are so many out there that you can check. And I don't want to overload you with tools and all these things because that now becomes overload,
No problem.
overwhelm, and a problem. I don't even want to start. So the best thing I would say is go to this Meet Glimpse. And then you have 10 free searches a month. If you have 5 products, 10 products, 2, 1, use it and say, okay, this week I'm going to use this twice. And then look at the data, look at exactly what people are saying, and then look at the platforms. Specifically, look at those channels. Once you see that, you'll know, okay, I need to focus on these platforms for this week. And then stay there for a week or 2, for 4 weeks. Build that relationship with the people because they're not just going to buy because you posted for the first time.
Right.
But if you keep showing up consistently and they can see you're actually paying attention to their needs, then they'll pay attention to your needs.
Okay. That sounds good. Has anybody heard about Lemonade platform? I'm like, Jesus Christ, another one?
Yeah, there's Blue Sky, it keeps going crazy. There's Threads. You just don't want to be everywhere and then nowhere at the same time.
Man, I feel like I'm on everything. I just set up a Lemonade thing, but then Lemonade is linked to TikTok. So whatever you post on Lemonade can go to your TikTok. Whatever you post on TikTok can go to your Lemonade. So I'm like, okay. All right. It's just a lot.
Step by step.
Also, TikTok is where content creator dreams go to die. Just FYI.
Wow, Wahala, you want to start problem today?
Me that I'm trying to build my TikTok.
Oh no, me and ChatGPT got a major beef. Don't even get me started, okay?
I love ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my best friend right now. I'm telling you. That is my best friend. I love me some ChatGPT.
Do you pay for what is it
Girl,
called?
yes,
Okay,
I'm
that's
paying.
probably.
I love it so much.
I
I
was
subscribe.
thinking that's probably why it's not recommending me. Watch, I'm gonna pay for it tonight, and then I'm gonna search, and it's gonna be like, oh yeah.
If you search my name on ChatGPT, you gonna find some stuff. That doing no.
So you
I'm paying for it because I use it for it's really, really helped me. It's really helped me, especially with my ideas for my content. Whenever I have a brain fog, it gives me topics, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can talk about this. I know this. It's great. So.
My favorite AI is Manus right now, and I was with them before Meta acquired them, and it's intense.
What is it called?
Manus.
Is it like ChatGPT or what is that?
And Manus is ripping every other tool apart. Just check it out and see, to the point where they even have a desktop app. Tell me which platform apart from ChatGPT and Comment that have a desktop app version. So not all of them do. So yeah, I do things with tech base, and I always come here to talk about these things because I'm like, I know so much of this information. Why am I not telling you guys? And then you choose what you want to use. And then that way, if it works for you, it works for you.
What do you know about Gumroad?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
It's cool.
Because I'm starting to
It's
use it.
cool. I just don't want you to get overloaded, Dua, because you'll end up having subscriptions and different things, which is good. But I feel like if you test it out, great. But I just feel like if you want to have the best results, then your website would be the best place to start. And you can have all the things like Linktree, like the link you see at the top here is a Zap. That's like a Linktree. It's like a Gumroad. It's called Zap Bio. That's what I have at the top of my links here. So I have access to everything. So you can use it, but the links that it's going to, it's your website, it's your podcast, it's anything, you have to structure it that way too. So look at all of them, see what works best, and then that way you can tap in. Yeah, so
I
that
just
you know
started
what's good for
using
you.
Gumroad.
Okay.
And I kind of like it. It's easy. It's easy to use, I feel like. So that's what I'm using for like my, yeah, I just started using it. So I'm trying to figure it out. But I feel like it's easy to use. So I'll test it out for some months. It's the only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't allow you to have your own URL. Like you have to use the Gumroad / whatever.
That's the
So,
problem.
yeah. So I don't know what the benefit. I don't know what's the cons of that. Like if you're not able to have your own like URL.
There's not really a con to it. It's just that it's not your link. That's just the thing. But people can still access it and connect. And I think if you use a free plan, if you have any purchases, they take about 5% or less. I'm
Right.
not sure. Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't use Gumroad myself, but I see it. Everybody has their own way of doing business, and it's working for them. It's great. So it just depends on what you want to use. But it is a good platform too. I can't knock any platform down because they all do well.
Okay. God will help us. Last.
Straight up. Thank you. Oh my goodness. This was a great room. I'm glad we talked about this today. On a Friday night, y'all are here. I don't know what y'all do on Friday nights, but I'm glad you're here because you could be somewhere else now, Clubhouse. So thank you for being here with me today. It's been great. I'm excited that we talked about traffic, we're connecting with. Thank you so much for the coin, Celeste. Appreciate you for that. This is all about Clubhouse and time that we're spending together. If you want more information like this, click the link above. This will take you directly to my link. And as you see that link, you'll see all my socials. Thank you, Luan. I appreciate you too for the coins. If you scroll down, you will see subscribe to AI SEO newsletter. Join the exclusive waitlist. If you want to access replays, you can click that too. If you want to get on a call with me specifically one-on-one, let's talk about that. Let's talk about your website, building it. Or if you want a discovery call, we can talk about it too. Or if you want to be a guest on my podcast show, feel free. The floor is open. It's yours. You can come and be a guest on the show and we can talk about it. So there are a lot of things you can check there too. And connect with me on my podcast called WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com, where we're able to share information like this. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Click on my face. If you want to know when I'm in the room on Clubhouse, the best way to do this, I always say this before I end the room, is click on my face to the right. You'll see 3 dots, and those 3 dots will give you notification settings and turn it to always. So when I'm here, you're able to know I'm speaking, I'm in a room, and I'm here to have a conversation with you. So thank you, Celeste, Dua, Luan, Deolu. Thank you for being here as well. Jasmine, Dr. Fashion, as well as Dr. J. Al, thank you for being here. Elvira, Al as well. There are a lot of doctors and Al's. Okay, I love the twin. Thank you for being here, Al Amory. Thank you, IJ and Elaine. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys for being here today. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you. And yes, I see the love heart. That's a cute gift. Dearly appreciate you. The love is real. And I look forward to being with you guys here in the next room. Until we meet again, have a blessed night. Enjoy your evening. Stay warm. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. God bless you and enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome to season 13, where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. A lot of information is always given on this show. So we're in the 13th season. God has brought us so far, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to connect with you today on such quiet, calm space like this. So thank you for listening. Know that Jesus loves you, and know that you can always connect with me on the We Don't Play Podcast show. More specifically, go to WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com, or you can go to playinc.online. That is PLAYINC.online, and get in touch with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk. Let's focus on SEO for 2026 and beyond. So until we meet in the next episode, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay blessed, and stay tuned. Bye for now.